All right, thank you for joining me on Quest ALTV. Today we're going to build the Cynabal from EveOnline. This was requested by one of my viewers, so thank you very much for that request. And we're going to go to the ship part screen here. This ship requires you to have an outpost ship builder platform, level 60, piloting skill 3, because it's a B-class ship. Starship design 4 is also required. And we'll get to the ship build. You can pause on this screen if you want to see what you need to build the ship. At the end, after we finalize the build, we'll see what the ship is worth so you can see roughly how many credits you'll need for this, but you will get a refund for whatever ship you build it from deleting those parts. And feel free to make the ship your own. We've got some optional cowling at the end, so I'll show you. It depends on what you think about the look of the Cynabal, but make the ship your own. All right, here we are. This is what the ship looks like, and I've made a copy for myself of the ship parts so that we can build it part by part as I've shown it to you. All right, we're going to start with the 120 LD landing bay, and that's underneath here. We'll pull that out. It's always nice to start with the landing bay so that you have a place to start your ship. This is the 120 LD landing bay from Deimos. Okay. Then we're going to use some habitations from there. We're going to use the Deimos all-in-one berth. And we're going to use that 4 times. But you can build whatever variations of these you'd like. Okay. The first one goes right on top of the 120 LD landing bay, and the second one goes one module back from that. Got another one here, Deimos all-in-one berth. Another module back from there. Okay. And then I put the Deimos control station on here for crew. That goes behind the second one that we placed, the Deimos all-in-one berth. But you could place, use different variations of these. You could use the living quarters or workshop or whatever you want for these. Okay. Then we're going to place the 110 DP Docker on the top, and that goes in the aft section of this Deimos all-in-one berth on top. All right. Then we're going to put 2 M30 Ulysses helium tanks on either side of that. And that creates some of the look of the ship because it has 2 sort of engine looking items up here on top of the ship. Then we're going to use this HopeTech Cap B mid. And that goes on top of the aftmost Deimos control station, or Deimos all-in-one berth that you have there, whatever you put there. Okay. Vanguard Bulwark Shield Generator. This is a B-class generator generating 1450 shield max health. All right, keep in mind if you have Vasco on your ship, he'll increase this shield amount for your ship. This is a really good B-class shield generator for the ship. Then we're going to do Tayo cowling aft and fore. So this is the first one, the Tayo cowling foretop. This goes on the front of the second Deimos berth that we placed. Tayo cowling. And then the other one goes behind the last one that we placed in the aft position behind this Deimos, what I used the Deimos control station. Okay. Now we're going to place the Samurai cockpit. And that goes in the fore position in front of the Deimos all-in-one berth that we placed on the very top of that little pyramid stack. of habitations. Now we're going to use the Nova Cowling 1L TF. And that goes up here. Nova Cowling 1L TF on the front of the first habitation that we placed. Okay. Now we're going to place the Stroud Cowling 1LA. And this one's going in the port position right there. This goes in the aft section of this second habitation that we placed. Okay. This Stroud Cowling goes in the aft position of the first habitation that we placed. And then we'll get two for the other side. And while you're building the ship, if you want to make it easy on yourself, oops, there we go. All right, if you want to make it easy on yourself, you can copy these as well. So you can just hit Control G and then hit Z to flip it. And then place it there. Okay. Now we're going to place the Aurora 11G grav drive right up here behind this Stroud Cowling. This has 27 grav jump thrust. A nice B-class grav drive. Then we're going to place our reactor on the opposite side. This is the 104DS mag inertial reactor from Dogstar. It's generating 39 power, requires piloting rank 3 because it's a B-class reactor, and Starship Design rank 4. You can place whatever reactor your skills will let you place there. I chose this one because it generates 39 power. And this is going to be a pirating ship, heavy weapon sort of ship. So after the reactor, we're going to place Stroud Cap A for cowling. And these are various, so I'll just place them all on the ship as we go. You'll need 10 of these. The first two go to the side of and around the back of the cockpit here, attaching to the Deimos all-in-one berth on either side. Okay. To continue the cowling, we'll place two below that. That's going to attach to the habitation below the cockpit and or to the Stroud Cowling 1LA behind it. We're going to place two more attaching to the habitation and the Stroud Cowling on either side there. And then we're going to place two in the aft position behind the other Stroud Cap A that we had placed earlier. Okay, now underneath the ship here, we're going to place two Nova cowlings, or two Nova bracers. And these go right behind that, the first one goes right behind that habitation that we had right there. You can also place these just by hovering your mouse over this connector right here and then choosing the Nova bracer. Okay. And now we're going to use some Deimos belly. Fore and aft, we're going to use 7 of those. All right. You can see them over here, but they're going to go, the first two are going to go behind the Stroud cowling here, 1LA, and this is the Deimos belly in the aft position. That go there, that goes here, I believe. Okay, and you can copy these and drag them over if you want. You can place them by going underneath the ship and then choosing the places where they go for the attachment. Okay, 2 more over here. That is 5 and 6. And those are going to be placed underneath the reactor. No, they're not. We forgot to place 2 Stroud Cap A's here for the additional cowling. My bad. I'm sorry about that, guys. There we go. So these will go back here underneath the Stroud Cap A. I hope there's a little bit more of a complex build. So there we go. Move that to where it goes. Now we're going to use the Nova Cowling 2L behind that Deimos belly. And this is also for cowling on either side. We're going to use the Stroud Cap C aft top in between those Nova cowlings. And then we're going to place in the front, underneath the Stroud Cap C, in the front portion of it, we're going to place this for cowling. And this is the last Deimos belly. All right. Now we're going to use 2 of the Acculander 11 landing gear. One goes underneath the aft portion of this Stroud Cap C, and one goes on the front of the ship underneath of this Nova cowling 1L. All right. Stroud Nose Cap C is the next thing, and that goes underneath the Stroud Cap A on the front of the ship, or in front of the Deimos belly. You can place it also there. It attaches at both of those places. And then reversed on the other side, or cowling on the front of the ship. Then we're going to place the Hope Nose B, just for cowling, on the front of the ship. That goes in the front of the Acculander 11 landing gear. Now we're going to place 4 Stroud engine bracers, and the first 2 go underneath the reactor and the grav drive on the opposite side. Okay, and that's going to create a place for our engines. And these 2 Stroud engine bracers go on either side of the Acculander 11 landing gear in the back, and that will create a place for. It will also look like engines, since the Cynabal has like 6 visible engines when it flies. I tried to make it as accurate as possible as far as that goes. So we're going to put 4 White Dwarf 1020 engines. The first on the outside of that Stroud engine bracer, and then one just above it on the outside of the grav drive and the reactor on the opposite side. Okay. All right, easy peasy. And then for landing gear, we're going to use the Pinpoint 3G landing gear, and this is the last variant of it. You can see there are this variant, which is the 4 version. This is the mid version, and then I like this one because it has an engine on the back of it. So this is the Pinpoint 3G landing gear from Tayo Astroneering, and it provides 1 lander thrust. Each of the Acculander landing gear provide 2 lander thrusts, so we've got ourselves 6 lander thrust at this point, which is more than enough for the ship. Okay, now we're going to place the weapons on the ship. We're going to place an equipment plate on the top here. On the top of this habitation behind the samurai cockpit, we're going to place an equipment plate from Taiyo Engineering. Then we're going to place the Atlatl 280B missile launcher, dealing 141 hull damage and 141 shield damage once you're locked. So that's pretty significant. KE-49A autocannons on either side here, attaching to the Stroud Cap A weapon attachment placement right there. And this deals 30 hull damage and 9 shield damage, the KE-49 autocannon. So it's going to give us some options for how we attack an enemy ship. And then on the front here, the Cynabal seemed to have a laser, or at least a rangefinder on the front of the ship here. That's why I placed this Nova cowling, so we can place on the front weapon emplacement right here the PBO 175 auto Helion beam, fire rate of 6, causing 19 hull damage and 19 shield damage on each hit. That requires Starship Design Rank 4, and that's from Ballistic Solutions. Okay, and that creates the look of the ship that I like for the Cynabal. Looks cool from the side with that arched sort of shape. But I'm going to give you an option here. If instead of the 2 Stroud cowlings and the 2 Deimos bellies on either side, just going to control click those. So that I can delete them in one sweeping motion. If you think that the cowling requires this look instead, you can place additional cowling onto the ship on either side. Okay? If you like that look better. I don't. I think it's a little too wide in the front. It obscures the look of the engines on the side, and I'm not happy with it. But I'll show you how to build those pieces. I'm going to hit Control-Z to undo my changes. So the ship will stay looking like this when we're done. But to build this, you'll take a Nova bracer, place a Nova bracer underneath it. In front of that Nova bracer that you just placed underneath, you'll place another Nova bracer and then another Nova bracer underneath that. On the outside, you place the Nova cowling 2LPA with the aft portion of that attaching to your top Nova bracer. This one attaches right below it. Okay, and that'll attach to the 2 Nova bracers that are there. And then you're going to place the Stroud Cap B beneath those. Place 2 Nova cowlings on the front of the bottom Nova cowling in the aft position there, and then another one placed in front of the Stroud Cap B in the aft position, and then place the Nova cowling 1LTF on top for cowling. Okay? And then you can duplicate that piece by hitting Control-G on any of these pieces and moving them over. When you take a piece like this Nova cowling, you hit Control-G and then hit Z to get the flipped version of it when you're creating that other side. Okay? But I'm going to delete these all together. That's up to you. If you like the additional cowling on the outside of the ship, that's great. But we get a nominal build here. You're going to need to go in and hit C and then assign your weapon systems. I'm going to assign the Auto Helion Beam, PBO 175 Auto Helion Beam, to the left click, and the KE-49A autocannon to the right click. With the Atlatl 280B missile launcher, it's assigned to what would be G on PC. Okay? And then this will give us the option, when their shields are fully up, to left click until their shields are down with this Auto Helion Beam. and then start to right-click once the shields are low, so that we can start dealing additional hull damage with the autocannons. And then once we're locked, finish the ship off with the Atlatl 280B missile launcher. But you can also just left and right-click and just deal as much weapon damage as you want to the opponent with your autocannons and your helium beam, and then once you're locked, destroy it with the missile launcher, if it even survives that long. I really like the look of the ship. I watched some PvP videos from EveOnline to try and really make it as authentic as possible, but we're going to accept this build, and then we're going to get a mission to destroy a ship and then do that. Okay, and certainly you can do the coloring however you've liked. I don't necessarily think that the coloring is as close as possible to the ship, but it's really hard to get the um, camouflage sort of look on here. I put some black coloring around here to sort of create the look of the piloting cockpit window around here. The back of the ship sort of has a gray area right here, or a charcoal sort of area right here on the back of the ship, and it looks kind of like a lobster to me. But I really like this ship, and I can't wait to fly it. So let's get up in the air and do that. Okay, this should be our home ship now. I shortened the ship. It was longer than this in my first build, but in order to get to the back of the ship from the shipbuilder, you need to be able to get to the landing bay. And this is how you would get up inside of here to get to the cockpit. But we're going to drop down. I believe we've got a terminal over here that we can use to get a ship mission, so we can go destroy a ship with this. So watch it take off, and then see how it does in combat. Just inside of my little habitation here, I should have a mission board. All right, let's destroy the Crimson Fleet White at Alpha Mare. We'll accept this mission. And now we should be able to, from here, just hit L and choose that mission. But let's take off. Let's make sure that we can watch this ship take off, because I really want to see that. All right, let's hit R to go straight to the cockpit. And then we can hold down space to take off. Get to see this ship take off. I'm pretty excited about that.
Say your last goodbyes. Talk to me.
There we go. That's what we want to see, are those 6 engines running on the Cynabal. I really like it a lot. When we get up to space, before we get over to the white, we can see we've got some great maneuverability on this thing.
Perfect.
All right, let's go to our weapons systems. We'll get those ballistics powered up. Get the shield powered up to full. And our reactor still allows us to have full engine and then 2 in the grav drive. So 194 speed, cruising speed on this thing. Let's boost and see what we get to. Wow, almost 700 on that. So that's pretty good. We'll get our booster back up to full here. And then we'll go to our mission. And we'll hit R to go directly to that mission in Alpha Mare, which is a level 45 system. And I think I'm just going to lay into left click and right click when we get over there to destroy this white. It might keep us from using our missile launcher at all, but we'll see how tough he is.
Jump was smooth as butter.
Okay, so this guy's going to be somewhere in this system, but looks like we're going to have to go find him. Hit M to go to your map, and then tab to zoom out. We can find there's that... may not have clicked on the ship. Crimson Fleet White. There we go. No, it should have showed it from the back, but it looks good with the cowling and the arched shape of the ship. I really like it. Okay, that was nuts. The guy doesn't stand a chance. Let's go ahead and get a missile lock on him and hit G with that Atlatl missile launcher. Brutal. Okay, let's turn around and get back to the ship and see what we can get from him. Credits, I think, is what I saw. Can't even pick up the gold because we have so much on the ship, but great maneuverability on the ship. I like the look of it with the 6 engines because the 2 landing gear on the bottom create the look of engines on this thing. Okay, and then if we enter photo mode, we roll around to the side. Pretty cool looking ship. Yeah, I like it a lot. So let's check out some of the stats on this thing. Crew of 5, shield of 1740 with Vasco on board. That's pretty serious. Our lasers at 19, but they have a fire rate of 6, so you saw they were pretty significant. The ballistic weapons on this are really the hitter on the right click, and then 141 damage from the missile. The ship's worth about 231,000 credits built this way without the additional cowling. So you might want to have somewhere between 250 and 300,000 credits to build the ship, depending on the discount that you get from the ship that you use as your stub to build it. But yeah, I really enjoyed building this ship. I hope that you enjoyed watching the ship build and got some tips and tricks there. Make the ship your own, and then we'll get on to some more viewer requested ships that are in the queue right now as soon as I can. And make sure you follow if you haven't followed. Watch me on the live stream. This is going over to YouTube for you guys to watch this ship build. You seem to enjoy those a lot. And we'll see you next time on Quest AL TV.